to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
I think today is the last
real hot day.
real one, isn't it? Right? Double check
It's
me.
supposed to cool down in the low mid 80s.
Yeah. And then next week.
Cool down.
Yeah.
And then I think there's even they were showing even a day in the upper 70s,
Really?
which I was happy to see.
Sure.
I'll take what I can get as far as any temperatures below 90.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'll take it. I mean, 80s are still a
We
little...
got I feel like we got pretty far again before it
got hot.
it turned. And with a temperature range, I mean, we're almost in June. And we haven't seen a century mark one yet.
Shh.
Knock on wood.
I mean, we're halfway through May.
Right.
But I still have sweat rolling down my back, so that's fine.
I mean, it's certainly a hot day, that's for sure.
I bet you it'll be cool in Sweden.
Yes.
In England.
Yeah. They have like rain ready apparel. It just stopped snowing in like the last 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
As far as where they're going.
Yeah.
So, although I mean technically we had a snowstorm in the last 2 weeks too.
Yeah.
How odd is that?
Yeah, and now it feels I can't imagine we're in the like mid 80s-ish range, and it felt really hot today. Maybe closer to 90.
I thought it hit 90. Did it not hit 90?
It must have. It's warm.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine having temperatures be another 20 degrees.
I know.
That's where I struggle, like when it's wintertime and it's chilly and you want to complain about it being cold, but then you're like, but wait a second. Summer's coming and it's just going to be hot. And
I
there's
should
no
be
way.
thankful.
Yeah. I do. I have come to the realization that I enjoy wintertime a whole lot better than summer.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it doesn't give you as much freedom as far as precipitation-free stuff,
Right.
days,
Yeah.
time, opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
but you're also not fucking dying of the heat. You know?
Man. I don't like century heats. I don't look forward to it at all.
Mm-mm.
And the way this one had like this like hot spell had come across, I'm behind too. I think probably, hopefully this weekend, I'll at least get an opportunity to build the PVC cage to hold my mister thing around my condenser without getting baked in the sun. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to... Wait, hold on a second. Hey, welcome to Sad Dads Club Podcast, episode 293. I'm the Lord Foo.
I'm Jim.
Okay. There's no way I'm going to be able to knock that project out soup to nuts. But I have leftover PVC from what was like a small garage for the Raptor, the quad, that I took apart because I have the tarpy garage
Tenty thingy?
Right, that the Raptor is in.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some segments that hadn't been warped in the 10 years that was a thing that I'm going to use to at least build a box that I can strap all of the misting units and tubing to.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to at least get that done. Because then that moves the PVC that I'm kind of like yard cleaning and moving around like the fucking rocks. Like it's just these little piles that keep getting all over the place. So if I could use what PVC I need to use and then discard the rest, and then that's like, the box needs to be there because I need a matrix to attach the stuff to. So then I check that box. Now I can, next weekend, I'll tackle like the piping, irrigation infrastructure, and then I'll save the Wi-Fi automation doodad for the last. That totally reminds me. as we're talking about, like I have to nibble off little parts of the bigger project, so that because soup to nuts is like, I get it. It's not happening unless it's so, because there's so many net news in that kind of thing. I would hit a roadblock and then I'd be like, well, fuck it, it's over. So if I can noodle off a little thing and say, I got, out of the 10 things on the project, that's done, I can move the next one. Your son, what day was it? It was somewhere over the weekend. I already have a checkbox for your son. He would like to borrow the rototiller.
Oh, yeah.
The rototiller's been winterized. So, and I need to check like the fuel lines and the belt to make sure that they weren't, because it was outside, but it did have a cover on it. But there's spiders and shit. But the way that some of the rainstorms have come in, and some shit I had to do on Saturday or Friday, I haven't had a chance to do that. So I've got this thing that I already know I need to handle this, so that way Chandler can borrow the rototiller and get whatever he wants. Eventually, the young man's probably just going to go to fucking Lowe's, rent a rototiller, and if he hasn't already, I don't know. But that's where we're at. Yeah. So he sends me a thing saying he had a friend with like a Stanley, like a thermos.
Okay.
You know the cups, like a Hydro Flask doodad.
Yeah.
The famous Stanley ones that
the Stanley cup mug.
Women's all go meat flap for at Target for the whatever.
Yeah.
His friend wanted like it laser etched, and I think the one time he was over here doing the cable, he had seen the what is my laser printer, but he's like, why do you have a 3D printer? Like, oh, no, it's a laser printer. Anyway, so he knew I had the laser. I'm like, yeah, I think we briefly talked about how you could print laser etch.
Is that what you did this with? Did you do this?
No, that was Argonaut.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
And I didn't print. So when we talked briefly, I'm like, yeah, you could do all kinds of like flat stuff. If you get little tumblers and rollers, it changes the Z-axis, and then it will rotate a round object and essentially burn one layer at a time as it rotates around. So he knew that I knew that there was a way to do round objects.
Okay.
So he sent me, he's like, I get a friend who has a Stanley thermos and wants to do a thing.
Okay.
Is something you're interested in, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I don't have the tumblers.
Yeah.
And I kind of just left it at that. I was busy in the moment. I'm like, you would need the tumblers or something.
Were you busy with the rototiller?
No, because it was like the middle of the evening. So he had sent it to me, and I think it went like, with my slow ass internet. There you go. I teed the other part up for you.
that was for later, dude.
Yeah, later. His message had sat for a while because I was working on something else. So by the time I felt like I'd already dragged my feet on it.
Yeah.
But my response was like, "Here's the things you would need." Blah blah blah. And I think we went like half a day, and he'd said something like, you could, if you don't have the tumblers, like charge him the cost of buying the tumblers, the tumbler thing, and then, then do the...
Yeah.
You could do it. Like, is it hard? Where's the crackling?
I don't know. You hear that too?
I do. I don't want to touch anything. Is it... I didn't see anything moving. Anyway. So he'd said like, hey, if you could just charge him the cost of the tumblers, you keep the tumblers, you do the thing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I think, then he kind of ended it as, if this is too much and you're just trying to say fuck off by not responding or something like that. And I went, oh, fuck. And I went to respond right away, but per usual, I got busy. So then the way that it looked, he kind of, like, if you just want to say fuck off, it looked like, from my perspective.
You were saying fuck off.
Right, because I hadn't immediately responded to like, hey, no.
Yeah.
And it was like another half a fucking day later, I'm like, no, here's the deal. Like, really what this is about, like, I just don't have time. And I'm like, as much as I would love to, sure, like, this is not, sure, fucking, I could end up comping myself the tumblers in order to just knock off someone's like one-off project, and now I keep the tumblers. That would be awesome. But like I've realized of late, I'm sort of in that the wizened old dad perspective, where now I'm starting to, I can do a whole bunch of stuff, but what I need to start doing is accepting my time limitations and not biting off more than I could chew. And I said, really, at this point, I'm already behind the 8 ball on trying to get you the fucking rototiller. And he laughed. He's like, no, I get it. And I said, it's not about, fuck you, I don't want to do it. It's more about, I'm out of time.
Yeah.
I'm out of time. I would love, and I wouldn't even, if I had those tools and the time, I wouldn't charge someone that was probably looking to, etch a vagina on their Stanley Cup or Happy Mother's Day.
I'd just be happy to use the shit.
Right. Or, fucking chocolate starfish on their Stanley. Like, how funny would that be? You're like, because, and here's the thing, there is a huge market for that. Like, one, if you're head in the sand about Stanley flasks, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, everywhere. Jesus, they're like a huge thing.
Yeah.
There is also a weird crossover market with I don't know if your wife reads smut romance novels or like audiobooks or stuff like that.
Not that I'm aware of.
But my wife does, and a lot of her friends do. Like that's her kink. And that's fine. Like one-liners that mean something from some of these novels that are like naughty, but without context, you wouldn't know. Like bookmarks that say something. There's a market for women or men who enjoy some of these adult novels. And your little Stanley Cup says something like, 2 for 1 and a candle on a whatever. I have no idea. But, something about bonding food or something where, if
I don't know, man.
If you know,
I don't know.
And you're just like, you're trying to like pull off a joke at work or something by drinking something that's like, what if you understood
that shows the color, but only if people know.
Just like pretty much I'm saying that I'd like to get double-endered with and fisted, and I get on black to Pornhub, that kind of stuff, but it just says being tickled with whiskers, and you're like, well, what does that mean? The sentence ahead of it was like, fuck me like a donkey, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if I were to have something like that, I mean, there's an Etsy shop, I guarantee you, and Venus has told me, she's like, women will pay. Like, if you could put some of these things on a Stanley Cup, on a Hydro Flask, hotcakes, because she's gotten something from one of her friends. I think it was like a coffee mug that has like an innuendo slogan, something on it that's just, or it might just be straight up perverse. I think it's that one. Yeah. Like, and they'll pay.
Business opportunity.
Absolutely.
Well, because first of all, Stanley's what, $30 or $35? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you add some etching on there that's meaningful. And that's add $10 or something to it. And the way that the apparatus works, Stanley Cups are pretty much a standardized thing. Yeah.
So once you have it dialed in as far as burn rate, burn depth, time, strength of the laser, all that stuff, really it's about the image.
Yeah.
And does it fit in the circumference of 3.5 inches or whatever it is, the circumference?
The problem with the Stanleys is the handle, probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you've probably only got, but if you solve that,
yeah,
then they make like it's like almost like a plunger. It sticks inside it and rotates it that way.
Oh, that would work.
So
you got 360 on that one,
right? And then there's because then you can they sell the same kind of apparatus for doing an epoxy.
Oh,
Venus she did it for Piper and herself one year. She had a friend print a Winter Soldier, it's like a silhouette with like his silver arm and the star on a Hydro Flask tumbler, and then she had a Loki sticker, like his like horned helmet made, and then for Piper, we put the Loki sticker on it, and then I clear epoxied so that way the sticker won't pull off. I did it very homebrew, but they make a whole setup that like you stick a plunger inside the cup and it will slowly rotate so that way the epoxy films and doesn't create like a sag or anything, and then you can plus
drips or whatever.
Right, you're not having to create like a taped like a masked off lip or anything. You can just stick the plunger in and it just rotates an even coat of epoxy.
That's really cool.
Yeah, there's a huge market for it. I'm like, if I ever needed to get further into it, absolutely. Obviously, Argonaut, he's light years ahead of me because he did both of our things for, was it for Christmas? Or an anniversary show?
Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, so Venus had, I mean, and these ones are easy, right? It's just straight up a cylinder.
Yeah. As
long as you've got an image to work with. And I think Argonaut, too, he went a step beyond, and he had a #Hey Argonaut. I think he's got like a camera that points down at his working surface, so it can give him like a visualized, like a forecast of what the image will look like and where it will be placed.
Interesting.
As opposed to looking at it digitally in the Lightburn software and like, oh well, okay, this is where it would look. Theoretically,
right.
The camera can like project or get an eyeball of what it would look like in reality. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat, actually.
So that's a long way to say
I couldn't figure out for a while like how this was even put on there, and I was like, it's not a sticker because it goes in. It's like been etched.
Yeah, so it burned off the white
layer,
powder coating of the Hydro Flask.
That's really sharp.
And like the fidelity, like you can see too, like the speaker or like the grill.
Microphone dots.
Yeah. So
everything's super
it gets
sharp.
Pretty good.
Yeah, very good resolution. That's pretty cool.
What do you got? Anything good?
Just busy with projects. I was telling you earlier. I got these like string lights that are solar, and they were starting to fade as far as their battery was concerned.
Yeah.
So got some batteries and replaced those. Put a new canvas shade thing up in the backyard.
So you did do the canvas thing?
Yeah, I had to because I work right next to that window all day. So if I don't have a shade over the back patio, then it's getting warm in the house.
Yeah.
And so patio cover, batteries for the thing. Get the pool's swimmable now.
Is it?
Yeah. It's amazing. It went from green to swimmable in overnight.
No way.
Well,
really?
I mean, no. Yes and no. I worked on it for a couple of weeks, and the main part is that when you first start working on it is to get all the
particulates,
leaves, all the big leaves and chunks out.
Yeah.
So scooping leaves out, and the problem is when it's at that stage, the water literally looks like a pond. Like you can't see more than like 2 inches into the water.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're trying to scoop leaves out, you're just kind of flying blind with the net, like moving the net. You can feel the leaves, and then you pull up a giant scoop of shit out,
right?
And then you're just trying to pull as much stuff out as possible. And then at some point,
when you scoop up the leaves, do you just put it over the wall?
Oh hell yeah, I give them back to the city.
Yeah,
because they're from their trees.
Oh, fuck yeah!
So the city gets them back. Don't worry, city. I'll give you your leaves back.
Yeah, they're hey. Finders, keepers, they're yours. Never mind. That's
Yeah.
it.
No, I'll give them back to you.
Yeah, they're yours.
I just wanted to borrow them so they'd fuck up my pool all
Right.
winter.
I'm just helping you with the decomposition and fertilizings.
And then I start getting the filter involved,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I want to start running water through the sand filter as much as possible.
Sure.
And then what happens is so much shit in the water, the filter will start getting clogged.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to rinse the filter out. And when that thing starts rinsing out, the color of the water, I'm not joking, is dark green.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot see through it. It is dark green.
Okay.
And it smells like fucking swamp.
Mm.
It's
Awesome.
It's disgusting. So you're running the filter as much as you can. And I had another problem with my filter that I just bought like a year or two ago. It has it's an Intex filter, so it's not like it's a nice piece of kit. You know, it was
Okay.
a couple $100. But it has an electronic timer, so you plug it in. The thing powers on and it has this electronic timer that you can set how long you want the pump to run.
Okay.
So when you hit power, or when you turn the pump on, however much time is set, it'll run for that amount of time and turn off. And then tomorrow it will start at the same time and run for that amount of time. It'll just keep doing that over and over.
Okay.
My timer wouldn't change off 6 hours. So I was getting really frustrated because when you're in this stage where you're trying to get the pool cleaned up, you need the pump to run as much as possible. And if you're not back there every 6 hours to reset the damn thing,
Mm-hmm.
then it won't run.
Right.
And then you're not doing yourself any good.
Okay.
The other part of it is you got to throw some shock in there,
Right.
chlorine. And so I started getting the pool cleaned up, and I got kind of ham-fisted by the fact that the pump wouldn't run for more than 6 hours at a time.
Mm.
Because you get busy and you forget the fucking pump's going to stop running.
Right.
And then if you don't go out there for a day, then it just starts going back to shit.
Okay.
So I kind of had that happen. And then I ran out of the shock treatment. I went and bought a new, I think it was over the weekend. And the pool was a little darker green than mint colored. And I shocked the pool. And then I did a deep dive on the fucking pump, how to fix the pump so that it won't, how to bypass the timer,
Okay.
the electronic timer. Found a video, guy showed me how to do it. I figured that out. So now as soon as you plug it in, the pump turns on. And then I was like, sweet, now I can plug that into my smart outdoor timer switch thing.
Okay.
And I can control it with my phone.
Well, okay.
So it's actually a win, really.
Yeah.
So now I just turned it on and let that thing ran for like 72 hours or more,
Yeah.
just running. And the skimmer's in there, like
Doing
cleaning the
its-
bottom.
Yeah.
And so it's just this cycle of constantly cleaning the sand filter, cleaning the skimmer, scooping shit out with the net, and letting the pump
Mm-hmm.
run and letting the filter do its job. And that last time I put the pool, like you could see the bottom of the pool is a little murky and it was a little greener than you'd want.
Yeah.
And my wife won't, if
Anything but clear or blue.
yep, she won't get in it.
No giddy.
And so I was like, all right, let's throw another treatment in here. And then the pump was running. So now I could run it for 24 hours. The next morning I get up, I look out back and it is clear blue. I go, oh, finally.
If you dip your nuts in it, they would burn off from all the chlorine.
Oh, it was pretty
Yeah.
hot. Because I'm like, literally, it's only a 5,500 gallon pool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like full gallon of chlorine in there.
Oh boy.
Letting it run for a while, and then the shock treatment on top of that.
Yeah.
And man, overnight it went from green to blue.
Okay.
Yeah, after 3 treatments.
Anything above it with the fumes was like
all the leaves. That's why there's leaves in the pool again.
bleached
Just
out,
burning them
squirrels.
off.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. So yeah, I was happy about. So getting somewhere with the backyard for summertime.
So was it earlier than last year? You had it dialed in? I can't remember.
It seemed like the pool took a lot longer last summer
I was gonna say
than it did this
I
summer.
feel like you're ahead. I
Yeah.
don't remember if you were swim capable this early last year.
I wish I had this stuff like written down or something.
We'd have to like re-listen to shows. Like, I'm trying to get my.
That's true. That's
so
true.
let me ask you, the canvas or the fabric for your overhang.
Yeah.
Did you have any problems finding a replacement?
So we know exactly. So the patio cover itself, the metal, the whole thing,
Okay.
came from Big Lots
All right.
a number of years ago,
Mhm.
and it's called the Oakmont. So we know what it is.
Right.
So when you know the name of it, you can find patio covers. There's a place called gardenwinds.com,
Okay.
and they sell replacement canopies. It's basically their whole business.
Okay.
And they carry the Oakmont Big Lots
replacement thing.
replacement
So how old
canopies.
is it?
I think that's the third replacement canopy we've put on it.
Oh, okay.
And they usually last a few years.
Okay.
'Cause
Because I feel like having had a house not as long as you,
yeah.
but I have been through at least 2 gazebo patio things where it was a one shot.
Uh-huh.
Like that, once it ripped,
You were like,
how-
it's out.
it's how do I mean, no, that's gone the way of the dodo. Things are bigger or a different shape, or there's not a like for like, and it's like, fuck, well, now I'm. So when you bought it, were you thinking at the time, is this something I'll be able to get a replacement cover for?
Didn't really think about it, but we hung on to some of the paperwork. I think it's like on my bench in the garage.
Yeah.
So that's how I know it's the Oakmont, because we've got paperwork,
Yeah.
like the assembly instructions or whatever,
Okay.
that says the name of it on there. And so, plus that's the school Shanna went to.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So the Oakmont, it makes it easy to remember.
Sure.
And they're the only ones, that Garden Winds place is the only company that I know that sells replacement canopies like that for lots of different. So in your situation, if you knew what the thing was or where you bought it from and the year and that kind of stuff, chances are good you would have been able to find the thing.
I know that. God, let's see. I mean, this is going back to when I had a boat, and I was just buying tarps at the time. But my dad has had his, like, the same kind of thing that I have back here now that we got from Costco. It's like a 20-foot long, tarp topped garage thing, like a temporary garage thing, but it uses like a
carport.
Yeah, it's a heavy duty tarp.
Yeah,
covering that's replaceable.
Yeah,
and he has had to, like, up at the country with the odd number of winds or a branch that's come sideways, or the tarp just UV destroys it.
Yep.
He's been saved by having a thing that he just. I think his is Costco too.
Okay.
So Costco carries a replacement. When I bought the one, while not at the time not thinking that I had the same style or that Dad had also bought his at Costco, I was not going to get one that I did not know also had sold, without having to buy another fucking unit.
Yes.
A replacement cover.
That's the only way it's really cost effective.
Right.
Yeah.
Because umbrellas, I've been through a number of umbrellas for sure.
Yep.
And 1 or 2 patio things where it's stripped, and what was it? Where do we buy that one? I don't know.
Right.
Piper needs a new diaper, so go do that, and then the fucking squirrels take over,
Oh, totally.
And then, obviously, that led me to, I'm just going to buy a goddamn metal topped one.
Right.
Which is what I have.
Yeah.
And
those are nice.
Sure.
In fact, I was telling Shannon.
Until they start rusting.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Shannon, I'm like, there's probably some sort of material I can buy that I could, if you could get a hold of enough material, you could probably cover it.
Sure.
With some hard stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I said the real problem is figuring out how to mount it to the thing.
Right. You're up there like
and making it
creating-
rainproof.
Yeah,
and
riv nuts and sure, galvanized.
But then it's like at that
corrugated.
point, you might as well just buy a new unit that has that part as
Right.
part of it instead of
Right. My dad has thought about putting like corrugated siding, like galvanized siding on his,
Yeah.
because he has metal poles, and it's, I mean, he spent some cycles on it because he's like, it just flaps, and he'd want it a little bit more wind and waterproof.
Yeah.
And it's a series. Drill some holes, put some riv nuts in, and just buy the Home Depot siding, and it'll
Yeah.
go. I'm like, I mean, if you want to do it, Dad, I'm fine right now because I couldn't if I started putting metal siding on stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not able to move it. If I needed to move it, I can just lift this up, and no one's gonna get cut hands or shit.
I think the biggest thing is the UV stuff, and so
Yeah.
I actually spent about $40 on Scotch Guard UV protector spray.
Oh, yeah.
So before it went up, I was out there spraying.
Yeah.
And then when I took so it has two pieces. It has like one piece on top,
Mm-hmm.
and then the bigger canopy underneath, and the one piece on top was the only piece that hadn't torn yet.
Mm-hmm.
From the old one, we had like it was one of those like storms came around. It was super fucking windy, and I'm sitting there working. And all of a sudden, you just hear, and I look out, and it's got a hole in it. And I'm just like, fuck, I kind of knew that was happening. Why didn't we take it off? Because we're lazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And it's a bunch of work because I got like lights all over the thing. There's fucking solar lights out there. Anyway, so when I go to take the very top piece off, which isn't very big, and I go to take it off, like pry it off of the little metal poles that hold the framework.
Yeah.
As I'm prying on it, that thing shreds. So it's like the UV.
Yeah.
The UV just tore it up.
Right. If you're not someone that has ever heard the thing that the sun destroys everything.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. And the color was like
become
completely
a
jacked.
homeowner or a renter with some sort of umbrella or patio thing that has a fabric top.
Yeah.
And you will understand after 1 to 2 years how fast and how formidable the sun.
Oh yeah.
And any elements, but the sun. I mean, the amount of fucking tarps that I went through.
Oh yeah.
Covering the boat.
Yep.
God, coming from the blue tarp, a heavy duty blue tarp, plenty of those. At some point, I bought a ridiculously expensive, like thick fucking canvas thing, and goddamn rope, the rope pivot for a wakeboard at the top of my wakeboard tower.
Tore right through it.
Oh, fuck, I should take the wakeboard tower down, patch up the hole. Doesn't matter, the next year. Fucking no one, Mother Nature and the sun do not have two fucks to give for humans' ingenuity for canvas and plastic tarpings.
Well, and
none.
And the canvas piece that we bought, or the replacement, they actually offer a couple levels of it. And typically we'll just buy the cheap one because we're going to replace it again. We know we're going to replace it again.
Yeah.
But they call the fabric Riplock. And if you look at the fabric itself, it's designed in a way that it looks like it's supposed to keep rips from keep going.
Oh, from running?
Yeah, from running. And I think just, once you start getting the sun equation in there, if you don't keep the Scotch Guard going every summer like you should, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Also, in the wintertime, we don't take it down, so it gets hammered with rain.
Oh, yeah.
It gets cold, stretched out, or whatever. The wind comes, and that's what finally took it out.
There was some point in an iteration of my backyard where we had, before the push out, the addition, we had like a pergola that had, it was just slats. So if it rained, it got wet on the patio. Early on, my homeowner, I put corrugated like plastic up there, so that rain sheeted off, and I could go out there and barbecue. Or at the early times, it was so Genesis could go outside. I thought I was just the most smartest homeowner. I'm like, yeah, now I've got a covered patio. Ha 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 ha. And the wind would come right up to the way that the backyard is orientated to the wind tunnel that comes through this residential area, would come right underneath my patio and then blow up into the, and I think within 1 year or 2 year, like all of the screws would then, and so then in heavy wind, I'd get flap, flap, flap of the plastic slapping against each other until the flapping stripped all the screws from the plastic, and then it was just this loud, because I wouldn't get up there. Oh, I know I need to, but I'm out of time because the dog and a brand new baby.
And I don't really want to.
And I don't want to get up there because it's so hot up there. It's right in the middle of the sun.
Yep.
And then a big storm come, and it was just like this annoying trying to sleep in a big storm. Flap, 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 flap.
And you're like, fuck, I should have.
And until the wind took care of it for me and blew something off into something else, and something broke, and then I was, hey. So then I was like, oh, fuck you, nature. I had gotten up there, taken out the plastic, and just straight up screwed sheet plywood. Now I have a roof, bitch.
Yeah.
And I'll paint it so that way it's weatherproofed. If I had a year and a half, no,
it doesn't care.
Flap, 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 flap. Now I have big boards like almost lifting up the pergola.
Oh my god,
dude. Dude.
Well, what I'd really like to do is replace the thing with an actual built-in, like patio cover.
Yeah.
That's what I'd really like to do. We just haven't ever done it. I have plans in my mind of exactly what it would be gorgeous.
Yeah, the current version of what we have is amazing. It cost me about $75,000 to $100,000.
Yeah,
because it's it's an actual build structure.
Yeah,
but
and it would be.
I can hear in my mind the flapping of the plastic, and I'm sure Venus, when she gets here, she'll be like, "Yep, so annoying."
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it would take a permit with the city because it would have a header that would get
attached to the house.
And then it would be built off of that.
Right.
So, it's like one of those things like, fuck, if I go get a permit, does that change my fucking tax shit?
Oh, because you'd have to get reassessed potentially?
I assume.
The lady next to me she had something like that put in, and it's somewhere between what you're loosely describing and I think something that Chandler described his potential in-laws, future in-laws had put in. It's not wood. It looked like some composite that does attach to her house, but it's got an actual top because she also has a ceiling fan.
Oh.
I think Mike and Angie have something like that too off their back porch. It's an actual structure with a roof that you're not going to have to worry about flappy.
The one Nicole's parents,
yes,
theirs is like it's part of the house.
Is it?
Yeah, it's got its own roof and there's fucking wiring in it and there's speakers built into it. And
lady,
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I've in my mind I envision something that gives partial shade. And then you have like some runners that you could run some fabric down and like pull it out so it would actually give you full shade if you really wanted it.
Do you get, See, I'm having a hard time trying to visualize with those big, tall things next to that wall, how much of that time you actually hit.
Big, tall things?
The big trees. I envision a whole bunch of trees along Pleasant Grove.
There were two or three pine trees back there that the city cut down.
Okay.
Because
so now you have a hole?
So yeah, there's an empty space. There's one tree above the pool on the one side, and then there's another tree on the other end of the yard. But we had I want to say it was 3 pine trees that got real big.
Yeah.
And then they were killing our grass, and the pine needles were fucking everywhere all over the backyard. And we complained a bunch to the city, and they came out and finally took them out.
They're like, congratulations.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. We did it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the sun.
Enjoy it. And we didn't You know, the only thing that I miss is like, you know, the sound of wind going through a pine tree.
Oh, I do.
That was I enjoyed that sound.
Yeah.
But now
We had, what was that last storm that came through that was a lot of wind? Was it Sunday, Monday? Came with
just
wind.
recently, yeah.
Came with wind. I stood out here and like
Just listened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In between cars, but there was a good, minute where that length of trees over here on the country club or something,
Yeah.
where it was heavy
Yeah.
leaf tree ambience.
Yeah,
ASMR.
because it was springtime.
I
right?
do. Yeah, I love that sound.
Yeah.
like just nothing but wind rustling the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Yeah. So they were like, "Oh, okay, cool. No trees for you then." And they never replaced them, so we just have like an empty space right behind the house,
Like, yeah.
which is fine because I literally couldn't have. We were getting roots from the pine trees growing into our backyard under the wall,
Yeah.
and we were like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah.
You know. So I couldn't have imagined if we were spending money to put a built-in pool in or something, like how much shit that could have affected.
Man. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, roots coming
Because
right through the
literally
wall.
they were all the way across the yard. Like when we finally put our above ground pool in, we were prepping that ground surface
Yeah.
and tearing up tons of pine tree roots all over the place on that space. It was crazy.
We've started to notice, speaking of the sun, at the time of the morning, when Venus leaves, if she leaves through the garage, the sun blinds the sensor.
Oh.
So the door won't shut because it's blasted with light from the 7:30-ish sun.
Oh,
that
that's interesting.
Shoots right at it, and it thinks that the thing is blocked, so it won't shut until, because I was like, she sent me a text. I'm like, oh,
couldn't get the door down.
Garage door didn't shut. Something's in front of the door. I'm like, fucking maybe one of the boxes like blew in when she left.
Shit happens all the time.
Yeah, whatever. So I came out here and I looked, and there was nothing here.
Yeah.
Like, boop, hit the door. Nothing. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And no, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, and so you would have to have like blocked the sun with your hand.
Right. So I stood right here on the corner and put my shadow right over the sensor, and then remoted, and it shut. And I went, oh, well, how about that?
So did you have to hold your shadow there the entire time it closed?
Yeah, I stood there and shut it. Yeah. And then I went inside.
And then you like stepped away and it went back up. It was all.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I let it shut all the way, and then she this morning did the same fucking thing. She's like, sun's. So that's a thing now. Now if she leaves through the garage at pretty much right spot on before 8 o'clock in the morning, the sun will blind the safety sensor.
So it had been a while. It's been a long time. Or do you think it's just the new sensors that came with this opener?
It's only happened this week. It has been like a time sequence thing. Although, I mean, we haven't really had.
But I'm just saying, like, when was the last time anyone from this house commuted at that time of the day?
She does all the time.
No, I mean, she does now.
Sure.
Right. And so now is just the time when the sun happens to be hitting that sensor just right.
Sure.
But over the years, when was the last time someone left the house to commute at that time? Ever?
I mean, in the last, like prior to the last 3 years, no one.
And it's a new garage door opener. So maybe these sensors are just a little bit more sensitive to having direct sunlight on them.
It's possible, but she was commuting all last year. And this was the same. Like, I didn't replace the sensors. I just replaced the. So this is at least.
You did what I did.
Yeah, this is
Left
at least
the sensors
been
there.
here for 1 year, and she's commuted to work. So, but this year is
interesting.
Is a different azimuth or whatever for the fucking sun.
That's wild.
I mean, yeah, the sensors haven't changed.
Okay,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, that's wild. I love seeing that kind of
And
stuff.
there's nothing that's been in that spot that would have casted a shadow that's no longer there.
Right. There wasn't like a tree there.
Right. It's possible, like the RS isn't righter or lefter or nearer or farther to the door.
And her start time hasn't changed.
Her start time hasn't changed. Now, it's possible that randomly... No, it's not. It's it's conceivable that she may have seen this earlier if she always consistently left through the garage, but because sometimes she leaves through the front door.
Oh.
And certainly the weather of late has kind of pushed back completely clear sunny day mornings.
Yeah.
Like back, we've had the way that storms have come and gone, and the pathing of some of these storms have put clouds over the foothills. So a clear shot from the sun that we may have noticed this occurring in January or something has probably been abated by the randomness of storms and her leaving sometimes through the front door and not through the garage.
So I kind of wonder at what point in the future will it stop doing it?
Right.
Where's the stop point?
Yeah.
Because the longest day of the year is in June, I want to say, right? I believe it's in June.
Summer?
Yeah.
You're talking about summer solstice?
Yeah. I think it's
what day that is.
I think it's in June sometime. Because winter solstice is like right around Christmas time, where you have the shortest day.
Yeah.
So I want to say it would be like June 23rd-ish.
When is the summer solstice? June 20th.
Okay. So that's...
Which is weird.
So you could go past it where it stops happening and then come back and have it start happening again.
Yeah.
In theory.
Yeah. Like, see you in August.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe we're that close to the
Isn't it?
Summer solstice.
Because that's the longest day.
Yeah.
But yet July
and August
are hot as sin.
Yeah.
So you would think you would be getting continually hotter
until the solstice.
Into the solstice and then
cooling off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
the shorter the day.
So the longer, but it's
not the case.
So there's obviously a distance thing that's going on there.
Science.
Fucking so bizarre.
I couldn't. The first time I remember, like the first time learning that the longest day of the year was at the end of June time or middle end of June.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait, what? That's not right.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then hearing that the winter solstice was like right before Christmas was like, well, okay. All right. Well, I heard the same thing about June being the summer solstice. It seems like it's so early. You would think it would be like July 15th or something like that.
Yeah. At least.
But it makes sense, though. It does make sense because June is the 6th month. It's half.
Yeah.
December is right at it's right before the beginning of January. Right? So
it probably has all kinds of things to do with the orbit and that being the closest we are to the sun or something.
The furthest away and the tilt of the Earth.
So it's the longest day, but
Earth is flat, right?
The closest distance isn't happening until July and August. Like, oh man, fucking science, dude.
The Earth is flat, so I don't know how that works.
Did you see was that the latest? Who sent that to me? The latest iteration of that whole group is that.
Oh no! Was it me? Because
that we're still flat, but we're on a round object.
Oh,
so it's like
so we're on a plate on a
we're like
a marble.
Yes, we're an inset plate on a round marble.
Wow,
We're still flat, bro. Flat but round.
We're flat as far as you can see around you because you can't see the curvature of the Earth from standing on the Earth.
You fucking people have no help. I can't. I don't know.
Well, I think what the most concerning thing about the flat Earth theory to me is how does the sun and the moon work? Like, it doesn't make it. It makes literally zero sense when you think about it. Like, the sun and the moon spin around the top of the disc.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't help that none of these people ever travel anywhere that like hold these theories. It's like, that theory makes sense if you never leave mom's basement.
Yeah.
But if you ever go somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, I think
for
Asteroids,
like an 8-hour flight.
The game Asteroids has more science in it than your mom's basement.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I don't know. Sometimes there's a fuzzy mold thing over there, and then it goes away after mom gets out the Clorox. Like, is that science or magic? Fuck if I know.
It's magic.
It should be.
Magic the Gathering, by the way.
She uses an object that says magic eraser. So clearly, there's wizardry involved.
Absolutely.
Goddamn. Mr. Clean and his magic eraser.
Yeah.
There's a kingdom somewhere with a bunch of wizards like Harry Potter. Is your wife more talented at something than you? And like leaps and bounds more?
Yeah, she's way more thoughtful than I am. That's her talent is she's creative and thoughtful.
Yeah.
Compared to me. Like I want to be more like that, but somehow I always say that I'm like out of sight, out of mind kind of a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's not right in front of me all the time, like it's just gone. And I don't think a lot about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why, like I always said before, that I'm calendar challenged.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, yes.
Yeah.
She's definitely way better at that stuff than I am.
We were, like in our house, like I'm not necessarily gifted in any specific thing. Like,
you can make kids.
You're
good at that.
Yeah, I've made 2 great kids.
Right.
So, yeah. But I'm reasonably adept at picking something up and being average at it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'll pick something up quick and be average at it. And that translates to you're better than me. That, if it takes someone else in the house more iterations to pick it up and I picked it up really fast, there is.
But you don't feel like you're super good at it.
Absolutely not. Yeah. It's like because if I was gifted at something, I would be using it to make myself money and stop working.
Right.
I would like to retire. So.
Like porn.
Yeah, right. Hashtag foosfeets.com, .onlyfans.net.
Bathwater.net.
Yeah, you can buy the bathwater. I swear to God, I'll send you one free. Anyway.
I'll even fart in the tub. I'll throw that in for free.
I saw that triggered a thing. So the bathwater.
Yeah.
I saw an article with her. She did.
With who?
The lady that was actually selling her bathwater.
All right.
She made, God, I want to say it was like $80-something plus $1,000 selling it, and PayPal froze her account.
Oh,
and
wow.
She actually never saw a dime.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a travesty.
Yeah. Someone asked her, it was like, because now I think she does OnlyFans. Someone in an interview, someone had asked her, like, so what happened with, like, how successful was the selling of your bathwater? And she said, funny you mentioned that. Whatever terms of service of things that happened where all of those transactions were processed, like she sold it, shipped out stuff,
got the dough.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
The money that was sitting in her PayPal account was then locked by PayPal, and she never saw a dime.
So what happens to the money? Do they just keep it?
I have no idea.
Do they
I
refund
think she was trying to do like litigation to get it.
Oh.
But that at this point in time, I think that's like almost 3 to 4 years ago, and she said she has not seen a dime of the bathwater.
So not a good prospect for you.
No, I'm not for me. But I'll do it on the side. You could just Venmo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll skip PayPal because I know there's already a terms of
Payment.
Yeah.
Like water emoji.
Yeah. Squirt, squirt. Whatever. Aluminum can recycling. Whatever.
Yeah. Camel.
Yeah. Hump. Just don't put #feet pics. So
Anyway.
yeah, the average. We went. Venus and I went to do with Angie and Mike ceramics.
Okay.
There's a place out Sac somewhere, where they teach like a class, like a beginner's class, like ceramics. I had Venus took ceramics at Bear River. We have.
Were you all sitting at one of the rotating wheels, with your hands on?
Yes, that happened. We have stuff in the house that she is. There's a sunflower on a wall that she like sculpted like from high school.
Okay.
A couple pots here or there, somewhere around the house, left over that haven't broken from high school. She has a pottery wheel that I bought her before we had kids. That has never actually had clay on it. It is one of those things that I intuitively saw. I honestly,
she's talented at.
She is talented at
Yeah.
it. She had not thrown a pot, I think, since she may have taken. I want to say I thought she took a class when we were in Charlotte, or not. But anyway, she has not. Since she's been a mom, certainly since she's been a mom, I don't think she's visited a consistent a clay place to like throw a pot.
She's thrown into a pot.
Every chance I get, or into a wall, or an elbow. Hashtag I love my wife. It doesn't really happen.
I'm just talking about the porcelain pot.
Oh, that
she's
one.
Thrown into it.
Oh, yeah. Bronco
Yeah.
squirt. So I went to this thing. I'm here to learn. I've never done it.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Right. Just do it hard. Do it slow.
Whatever it is you're going to do.
Right.
Because I don't know what's going to happen.
So I watched the guy. He's teaching. Watch the guy. All right, okay. Do this. You have any questions? Good to go. I put this clay on the wheel.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Okay.
My guy, I don't know to what end. I look across, and my wife is doing the same thing. She throws the fucking clay into the wheel, starts spinning the wheel, and she's making a fucking pot.
Yeah. Put your weed in there.
Well, you could.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have weed.
What's it for? I don't know. You put your weed in.
Yeah. She was trying to make a fucking toothbrush holder.
Okay.
And she got
a square one.
Yeah. That's how you do it when it's spinning around this centrifugal force.
I don't know what the.
You're like whack whack whack.
I am.
And your internet's slow. Ulanzi. Man, and I'm like, I don't quite get like how much pressure you're going to hear. She like gets up, comes around. It's just one of those things where she was like out of the gate.
She just has the feel for it.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure she didn't have the feel for it the first time she ever threw a piece of clay onto a spinner.
Probably not in high school, but she had done it. She skipped a good 20 years. And Angie was like, well, fuck you, Venus. Because she got on the wheel and like, where, here, brrr, and she's making shit that, So she has...
It's like riding a bike.
I think for her, it is. So she is... I ended up just like, now...
here's my clay.
Yeah, you want my clay? Are we good here? I ended up stopping. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and get frustrated.
You make an ashtray.
Dude. So I resorted to, I went and got myself a lump of clay, and I made what they call a fucking pinch pot. You just like start at the bottom, and you just start making a bowl by like slowly rotating and pinching.
Yeah.
It is the most rudimentary of things. I'm like, third grade
Dude,
Jay making. If you I am 48 years old, and I made something that a preschooler
Sure.
could have made just as good.
Yeah.
This thing, it has wavy edges, and it probably, I don't remember.
It's not even flat.
It's not even flat on the bottom. I'm not going to bullshit. It is preschool shit.
That's awesome.
And I was happy to be playing in the mud.
Oh, yeah.
It was cathartic. Like, it's, I'm not there to.
I want to try it.
It is.
I would like to try it sometime. I have never done it, but I would like to try it.
The place that we went, I wish I could remember the name. I think it starts with an S. It's a husband and wife.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those places where you can feel comfortable in not knowing not knowing anything.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
It's very just, hey, do you have any questions? If not, we're not going to be up in your shit. We're not expecting you to make anything. And that's exactly how I felt. I went in, I have no talent. I have zero talent. I gave it a shot, and then I was done. I cleaned up my workstation. There wasn't anybody going, hey, are you, you've paid. Are you sure you don't want to, and I can help you? They just let me be. They're like,
that guy sucks.
Right.
Just leave him be.
You want to try again? Try again. You want to try something else? Go nuts.
Yeah.
It very not on top of you atmosphere.
Yeah.
Your own pace. Make what you want. Don't make anything. Sit and hang out and jaw. You can do that too. So
they fire it and everything?
Yeah, so they do all of that. You come back like 2 weeks out, and then you after it's dried, if you've got something enough to dry, and then you glaze it, and then they fire it in between. So you come back every 2 weeks or so, or whenever you can get, and they almost curate the clientele so that the people that are there that come back or trying new lessons are people that they don't mind being there. So you're almost
and like-minded capabilities, kind of a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Venus and Angie were kind of saying that they almost filter it so that it's all kind of gonna be. You don't have to necessarily socialize with anybody, but everybody there is going to be your people or not in your shit, because everyone's there to just do their thing. So you can be independent, but also have a good time and have an open conversation with probably anybody that's there. Like Mike seemed to be, conversating with multiple people, and no one bothers you to hey, you're in my space, kind of a thing. It was very comforting atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
They the wife who kind of runs the front of the house kind of thing, she was pregnant, so somewhere in I think we're going to have a hiatus. They'll have someone taking care of the business, because they're both going to be new parents. So they were openly talking about the break that they're going to have, and the last meeting that they had with the OBGYN, they were trying to get dates for when little bundle was coming, and the doctor gave him X, and the guy was like, so is it right there, or plus or minus? And if it's a minus, well then it was funny to hear new dad apprehension, so what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
He had all new dad questions, and it was funny to just hear as a bystander, it's going to be a happy dad, though.
Mm-hmm.
You could, because of that, whole filtering, and how they're, you knew that everyone there was everyone's here is probably happy dads. And congratulatory to this guy who's going to be, hopefully a new good dad, kind of a thing. I ended up coming home, and I told the kids, whenever you get into a relationship, it's going long haul, and you feel like you seem to have the bulk of you're more talented at a whole bunch of stuff. I said every once in a while that may be the case. But I said, every once in a while, your partner is going to have something that will absolutely mop you with the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, your mom can absolutely kick my ass up and down the street pottery. I said, bar none. If you ever have a fucking pottery question, your mom has your mom. You ever want to take up that as like a hobby or a pastime, which I encourage. Like, it is so just. There's something almost youthful in just sitting there playing with mud.
Mm-hmm.
The second time we went, there was a family that had 4 kids, 9 into low teens, and they have, I can't remember how many wheels they have. But I just I don't need to throw anything. I want to make sure that it was clear that it was their first time. Like, I'm not going to know how to do shit anyway. So I just grabbed a chunk of clay and I went straight to the table. And I'm like, I'm going to make something. Didn't necessarily know what at first, but I just started making a box. And then I'm like, I'll make a dice tower for Dungeons and Dragons. I'll make like a dice tower with something to throw my dice in and tumble around.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I just made this little fucking box.
Yeah.
And then I went a little bit higher. And I'm like, fucking done. Done. Well, that's good. I can't wait to glaze that.
No spinning for me.
Yeah. So you can do things at your own speed.
Yeah.
And I was perfectly happy and just doing a thing. Mike did throw something. I don't know, a couple things. Angie is pretty good at making like bowl-ish things, and Venus, I can't remember if she did anything, but they had stuff to glaze, so they spent the second part of the evening like glazing stuff. They're doing their thing like right next to me, and I'm just fucking playing in the mud, just bloop, 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 making little things.
Yeah.
It's John every once in a while. There was like a couple teenage girls making little, like, I think there were pandas, maybe, or cats. I'm not quite sure. Just sculpting things without any real direction. It kind of looks like little figurines of something. And then at the end of the evening, they just squashed them up and then we were done.
Oh, that's it.
They were like,
they weren't trying to keep something.
No, they were just. But I highly recommend it. Like, it wasn't something that I was like, I need to make a thing.
Yeah.
I would have liked to. I would like to get that thing going so I could practice.
Yeah.
And then, because a lot of it, I think, is feel. Like,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
I have no shortage of,
it's getting the right pressure and the pinch between the two fingers.
Absolutely. I was struggling with, well, how hard, my wife is not stronger than me, but I didn't know how hard to press on both sides in order to get things centered.
Yeah.
And, I was too light and then nothing was happening. And then I'm like, all right, so if I just, and then I went too far and like straight up clean and jerked the fucking clay right off and I'm like, well, now, I tell you what, how about a pinch pot? I'm just going to clean off my workstation. So the first thing that I've made that will end up, I don't know when we're going back to get I'm going to keep my fucking pinch pot.
Yeah.
And it'll be, I don't know what color, greenish, I think that is the glaze that I got. Yeah, I'll keep dice in it, or my heroin, I don't know.
Weed.
My weed. Yeah.
Huh.
So
I've always wanted to try that, so that's interesting. I didn't even know you could go do that anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I didn't either. Somewhere, I think Mike and Angie picked it up somewhere like a late COVID thing. Like, you could do that.
Yeah.
And they made a couple appointments, and then I can't remember. They asked Venus, or Angie asked Venus, and Venus was like, sure.
I'm good at that.
Yes, absolutely.
Hells yes.
She should. God, if I had the time, like, if we had more, like, if she had a kiln and with a she shed where we could put that pot, out in the back and just go nuts making pots with a prosumer-sized kiln, she would go nuts. I really think that's one of... I almost wish she would do it more because she is very talented at it.
Mm-hmm.
She has a gift, and I don't know if it gets her into like a flow state where she's just... It can help clear her mind. I don't know if it's like driving for us kind of a thing, but she's very good at it. She's extremely talented at it. She should take more opportunities for sure. I don't know. As soon as the mom and dad are back from paternity, like I hope she takes an opportunity to do more. As the kids start to not need the handling as much, she should have more opportunities for herself to do a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, we're at time.
Just like that.
Just like that.
There goes another show.
It's hot. It felt like it got hotter.
Yeah, it's warm.
Did it?
Can you guys feel my sweat? I can.
Is it weird? It felt like it got hotter.
It's warm.
It's because there's two bodies in here. Yeah. And a huge wang.
One huge wang.
And two nuts.
Wait, what?
But yeah.
Hold on a second.
Hold on.
We both have kids.
Quick math. Yep, we're short 2 nuts. Anyway, on that note, you should return a cart.
Wash your ass.
Wash your hands.
Check your oil, Tony.
Stay up to date on your shots.
Make the call if you need to.
Register to vote.
Return the cart.
Pick up a broom.
Do the kindness.
Say hi to your mom for me. Oh, happy Mother's Day. Post Mother's Day.
Word.
Yeah, on that. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.